we did insert into dbo dot teachers. Okay, 1 Sam. Okay, at the same time I want to go for 5 run, and I would like to insert 2, one more value, 2 say div. Okay, that's the same information. I'm gonna copy it onto teachers one table. Okay, these are the 2 records I'm gonna insert. 3 records in fact. Incorrect syntax. What is an incorrect syntax? Insert into values. Nobody told me that. Okay, looks like I muted you guys. So okay, values. So let's insert this 3. So 3 and 3 records inserted. Okay, if I do a select statement on both of these tables, please pay closer attention. Okay, if you do a select statement on both of these tables, you see the teachers one table had the same order as what you inserted, 1, 5 and 2, whereas the original table, the teachers table, had an order of an ascending 1, 2 and 5, because on the teachers table you created a primary key, and that primary key was a clustered index, and that was assigned as an index ascending order, right? So that means whenever you define a primary key on a table on a particular column, it could be a one column or a combination of more than one column, it would make it physically ordered. Okay, that means even though you insert 10 records or 100 records in a jumbled order, it will reassign itself. It will physically order the data, okay, in an ascending order fashion. That's what it's going to do. So primary key, when you define a primary key, that will make sure that the data in the rows of that particular column is unique. Okay, that means not even a null value is going to be in there. Okay, that's about the primary key. Okay, we have something similar to this, but it is called unique key. Okay, let's say you have a table, okay, and you define it as a unique key. Okay, let's copy the same example. Okay, instead of teachers, what I'm going to say is principal. Okay, db.principal. Yeah, principal. Okay. Okay, instead of a primary key, if I just mention it as a unique. Unique. Okay, so if I execute these 2 tables together, they're gonna create those 2 tables, and then I'm gonna insert, okay, few values. Okay, first of all, let's go and see in here. Okay, here are our principal tables. One of those principal tables, this one, will have a unique key, right? If you open up the keys, you should see one silver or a silver kind of key, that is unique key. What will it do is it will make sure that that particular column has an unique values, but it also lets you insert one null value. Okay, whereas a primary key, okay, it says it's a not null column, and it will not let you insert a not even one null value. Okay, when you say a primary key is nothing but a unique key with no null values. Okay, whereas a unique key is almost similar to a primary key, but it has one null value. Okay, that's number one. Number two is this one will not keep an ascending order or descending order. Physically sorting thing would not happen. Okay, so let's say if I am trying to insert two records into this table, okay, one of those things will fail because this one principal table, the ID column is unique, right? So 152 and 152, you're trying to insert a duplicate record in this particular table. So that means it's saying I cannot insert a duplicate key value. Well, if I take off this one from here, it will let you insert that. Insert fine, right? No issues. Whereas you don't have any unique key or anything like that on the second table, so we should not see any problem. It says invalid object. So that means it never got created. Is that what happened? No, there is one, right? So this one should be fine too. Okay, so if I go ahead and run those two tables, I should see the data being not any ordered, but the non-duplicated information is not inserted in there, right? So that's about the unique key. Any questions? Okay, let me go ahead and unmute you guys if you. Any questions?
No, sir. No.
Okay, so that means it's clear, right? Anything I would like to add about the primary key? Primary key, no. Okay, so you know how this primary keyword would work, right? It'll make sure, let's say there is a customer table, and in the customer table of one of those columns, it could be an ID column that would be unique, that would be provided as an ID and a primary key. So everybody would have a distinct ID. Make sure no duplication would happen. So then again, let's imagine there is an orders table. Okay, that order table should have some kind of relationship with this customer table, right? So that means anybody who is not in that customer table should not place an order. Okay, there should be some kind of mechanism that should monitor all that kind of scenario, right? So for that particular reason, they invented something called referential integrity. Okay, this referential integrity in technical terms is called a primary key and foreign keys. Okay, so let's say I'm going to create an example. So create table dbo dot customer. Okay, in here I would have an ID column, okay, which is an int and a primary key. Okay, and then I have a name which is a varchar of 20 characters. Okay, then again, so let me go ahead and insert few records. Insert into dbo dot customer. Okay, I would like to place a few values. So one, Vinay, then again 2, Deep, Deep. Okay, I have 3 customers. That's 1, 2, and 3. Vinay, Deep, and Deep. Okay, those are three of my customers. Let me create one more table. This is going to be my orders table. Okay, OR3RS orders table. So in here I have an order ID, O_ID, which is an int. Okay, Then again, I would, it can be a primary key too. No issues on there. You can have as many as primary keys. Okay, and this is a primary key. That's very good. And order underscore date, which is a date column. Okay. Order underscore cust ID, which is an int refer reference dbo dot customer bracket ID. Okay, references. Okay. Okay, let's also put order to date o underscore due date. Okay, that's also again a date type. Okay, this is an let me go ahead and build this table. Okay, what's wrong in my syntax? Hold on. References. I don't have to mention that, but yeah. So okay, hold on just a second. I have messed it up the syntax. Okay, let's add it as a constraint. Copy this. Okay, then this is gonna be a thing. Okay. Add foreign key. This is going to be my cust ID. From db customer. For that one, I have to say this as an in. I can close my bracket here. And have to add table db dollars. Add constant. Okay. Here is one more comma. So if I execute it together, there you go. Okay, now let's refresh our tables and see that both of our tables are existing in here. Okay, that's a customer table with the one primary key ID. Okay, and the other thing is our orders table. We have an order table, and this is also referring to the foreign key, right? Okay, so let's do a select star from dbo.customer. We have 3 customers, Vinay, Deep, and Deer. Okay, that's good. Okay, let's do. We do not have any orders yet, right?
Yeah, we didn't add.
No orders. So let's insert few orders. Insert into dbo dot orders. Okay, values. So what is the order ID? 1. Okay. Order date. Anything is fine. So I would say 2-8-2017. Okay. Order due date. Anything is fine. So I would say 12-8-2017. Right. And then it's going to ask us for customer ID. We'll mention it as 1. Okay. Let's take the same information. Okay. So for order ID 2, I'm gonna say this is 5. So once for the first record, when I insert into the order, it was successful, right? So if I do check the order table, I see that one order has been made by customer ID 1. I know that the customer ID is 1 is Vinay. Okay. So when I go ahead and try to insert the second order, okay, which is this one, I see that the customer ID I gave is 5, which I do not have in the customers table. When I try to insert that, it's going to say that this is a violation of foreign key, right? So that means any record I'm going to insert into this particular table, orders table, in the foreign key column, it's going to validate it with the primary key table. We did do the reference here, right? So it's going to refer to dbo.customers ID column. It'll check whether this value is existing in the ID customer table ID column. If the value exists, that's when only it's going to insert this value. So that's how the referential integrity would work. Okay. So if I'm trying to insert a third record with somebody Deep's sale, this is going to insert fine. Okay, make sense? Any questions? This record failed when I tried to insert it to orders table. Reason why it failed is it says that the value 5 has created some kind of
duplicate
violation.
Yeah.
Why it created a violation? Because this is we are trying to say this is a customer ID, right? Which is referring to dbo.customers ID column. So we remember that in the customers table there is nobody who has an ID 5. So that means you're trying to book an order with a non-existing customer, right? Which is wrong. అర్థమైందా అర్థం కాలేదా నేను రిపీట్ చేయాలా?
No, Sandeep, I think it's clear.
Okay. Dinesh bhai, any questions?
No.
It's clear, right? The foreign key is clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is how the foreign key would work. Okay. Next thing is we have an identity column. Okay. An identity column being defined on a table. Let's say there is a table called. Give me an example. I want to create a table. Yeah, I'll use the same exact table. I'll script this one. Students. Okay. We have ID first name and last name. Let me go ahead and drop this table. Okay. I did drop the table. I'm gonna create this back again. But in here, before I do it, I'm gonna say identity 1,1. So with this keyword identity 1,1, what's gonna happen is automatically it's gonna give its ID. So that means the first record is gonna get ID1, the second record is going to get ID2, third record is going to get ID3. So starting from this number, incremented by this number is what it's going to get. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this thing. Okay, something is wrong. No, it already existed. Let me drop it again. Okay, Control Z. Let me create it. Okay, there you go. So now the students table in here. Okay, the identity column would never be shown here, but we should be able to figure it out. Okay, let me go ahead and do a select top 1000 on it. No records in there, so let's insert. Okay, when you try to insert into an identity column, it's gonna alert you. So do not insert an identity key value. db.student values. This is going to be first name. Okay, and the second name or the last name is going to be Ralph. And third name is Mars, which is 23. So if I try to run this one, it says it's inserted one row. If I do a select star from db.student, I can see that the one record is inserted, right? Let me do a second insert with no ID being presented to the insert statement, right? It's doing it by itself. It knows what was a previous value, so it's going to increment it by one. Okay, so a tricky question for you guys. So let's say I am doing this insert from a third-party application. How would I know what is my insert record ID? Okay, now I inserted this record, right? And from our experience, we know that is record ID 2, right? Let's say I am inserting, you are using a web browser from your computer to insert into my computer. How would you know which record is that? What is the ID number? Let's say 10 people are inserting at the same time. You should be able to know it, right? So for that, there is a function called scope identity. Okay, let me pull that out for you. Programmability functions, system functions, other function. Scope identity. So if I run this scope identity now, the previous record I inserted was ID 2. Make sense? Do you want me to give you another example? Let's say if I insert one more record in here, say Swami, okay, and this is Baba, and let's say if I give 78, if I run this insert, we know that it's an ID 3, right?
Yeah.
From our experience, but we do not know until we do a select statement. That which is not possible in every case. So if you do an scope identity by right at the same time, it would tell you from this session whatever record you inserted was inserted with an ID 3. Okay.
So Sandeep, this particular command, scope identity, should it be inserted in the at a particular area, anything in specific when you're writing all of this? I'm a little confused as to where can we use this. I understand the logic as to what it does, but where can I use it? As in, is there a particular rule that I have to follow, or anywhere, or in a particular table?
Okay. Okay. We defined these tables, right? So tell me, where do you think you would use this table?
ID.
No. This particular table, that could be a student table or employee table. Basic idea behind this is like somebody from an .NET or a web page will insert records into your table, right? Let's say it's a registration table you have, and people registering it from online as a web portal with the web forms, first name, last name, and all those things. When they hit the submit button, that record should insert into your table, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When they register, you have to give them the registration number, right?
Correct.
How would you know which guy's registration number is which?
Okay.
So let's say 100 people using the same web page at the same time and click the registration button at the same time. You have to have certain mechanism that you have to know this is the guy who inserted that particular record, and you have to send him same registration ID that belongs to him instead of sending somebody else's registration ID, right?
Okay. Got it.
So that means the connection dependency and always the scope dependency will take the same connection. Okay, this is the guy who inserted this record, so I have to send back him his ID. So this is behind the scenes. This is the mechanism that will take care of all the things and send him his ID back.
Okay, so whichever table that you are working on, it will get the maximum, the highest number from that particular table, right? Because in this particular command, you haven't mentioned any table name as such. You just said select command underscore identity, scope underscore identity. So it has picked up the maximum number of entries from DBO student.
No.
So it will.
Let's say if I copy this one, go back here, insert, do again some random text, right? Okay. This guy, at the same time, I want to copy it here. Okay. Do something else. Give it a random number. So how can I execute both of it at the same time? Horizontal tabs. No. Yeah. Horizontal tabs. Okay, so executed. Yeah. So Vinay, it's not the maximum number. It is what is this record has inserted. Let's say if I have two records at the same time from the same scope inserting. Okay. If I'm trying to insert the same thing at the same time, you see, I'm getting a scope 6 for this one and scope 7 for this one, right?
Yeah.
So that means it knows which insert record has which scope identity number.
Okay.
Yeah,
no, it makes sense. It's clear now. I understood. At least I'm clear with that. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. That basically it knows which exact record you inserted, and the following whatever is the identity column value, it will return you back that particular value. Okay. There could be hundreds or millions of records being inserted. It will not get confused. It knows which session ID you have inserted it from. So we have the session ID numbers and all those things, right? So it remembers you. It exactly knows who are you, and it will return you back the same insert scope information. Okay. So yeah. So the topic here, or the identity column, right? So you know how the identity column works, and you now know what is scope identity T2. Okay. Now remember we have this delete statement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how does this delete statement work? Delete. If I have to delete all the records, how would I do it?
So put it as delete Star
delete
from DBO student.
Delete from dbo.student, right?
Okay.
Yeah. If I run this, all my 7 rows are gone, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go and do a select statement on it. I do not see any records. All the records are gone because I ran a delete statement on this table. Now, if I go back and I try to insert one more record into it, it's going to tell me that the record new ID is 8 instead of 1. Right?
Oh.
Even let me delete it once again. You go see the student table. It's an empty table. And when I go out and try to insert a record in there, okay, it inserted successfully. When I do a select statement on it, it's going to tell me that it's an ID 9. It's not starting it from the 1. Even though we deleted all the records, it doesn't know that it has to start back. Right?
Okay.
The only way to start it back is either to drop and recreate the table. That's one way. Okay. If I drop and recreate the table, the problem is that if I have some kind of foreign key referential integrity and all, those all things will break. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine my customer, if I try to have a customer table with an identity column with an ID value, if I try to drop this table and recreate it, all the foreign key values in the order table will fail, right? So for that particular reason, you have this truncate statement. Okay, so you try to write it as like truncate table dbo dot student. Once you truncate a table, it will reset the identity column for you. So next time when you do a select statement or insert a brand new record, it's going to start up from the 1. So I have inserted a record. Let me do a select statement on it. Now I see it's starting with 1 again. Okay. So that is when a truncate statement would be useful. Truncate statements are used when you have to reset the identity column, or you have to make it's a nothing but another way of dropping a table and recreating it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions?
No, none from me, Sandeep.
Okay. So today we spoke about primary key, foreign key, unique key, and identity columns along with the truncate statement, right? So we'll we'll talk about the DCL and TCL tomorrow. Okay, that's our agenda for tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow if you do not have any other questions as of now.
Good night.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Sandeep.
Yeah, go through the topics again if you get some time tomorrow. Then if you have any questions, you can talk to me before we start class tomorrow.
Okay.
Sandeep, sorry, just a quick question. Now, I missed the first 7-8 minutes or 10 minutes maybe. I see you recording. Would you be able to share that, or how does that work?
Yeah, I would probably check. I don't know where the password of this account I'm using, but I have to talk to my brother. He knows it. He should be able to send it to you. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, should be fine. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.